Well, the lights go down and the bells are starting to ringing, and that heralds the start of the 13th edition of the Erfurt International Indoor Meeting. Welcome to Erfurt, and if you're looking at a map and wondering where it is, well, it's right in the center of Germany. It really is the geographic center of the country. It's about 100 kilometers southwest of Leipzig and about 300 kilometers southwest of Berlin and about 400 kilometers north of Munich. Erfurt, of course, part of the old East Germany. And as always, Germany has a well-deserved reputation for putting on spectacular indoor events. Well, this is theoretically a World Athletics Indoor Tour Challenger meeting. When you look down the fields, it's an awful lot better than that. Got some terrific events during the course of this evening. We're going to get underway very shortly in about 8 minutes time with the start of the men's pole vault, including some very good Germans topped with Torsten Bley. We've got some cracking sprints and sprint hurdles races coming up as well. And the evening finishes with an 800 meters, which should be a very, very fast event indeed, over 4 laps of this Hartwig Gauder Stadium. There's the flags of all the competing countries. Now, athletes from far and wide have come here. This is predominantly a European meeting, as befits a European athletics live stream, but it does have a smattering of athletes from further afield. Japanese athletes, American athletes, of course. And ready to welcome the introduction of the stars of the show. I'm just wondering whether Mohamed Atawi is going to be in there. Well, Atawi, the Spaniard, who races in the very last event of the night, the men's 800 meters, set a European record in Madrid last Friday, over 1,000 meters. 2:14.52 for Atawi. So some of the youngsters from the local athletics club doing fine service as volunteers at this event. One field event, and that's going to be the pole vault. The focus of attention is on the track. We've got a great mixture of sprints, sprint hurdles and long distance events right the way through the program, and it's going to be a very enjoyable next 3 hours, I'm sure of that. This one of 23, I should say 24 events coming to you on the European Athletics digital channels over the course of this indoor season. Here we'll have their sights also set on the World Indoor Championships coming to you from Torun in Poland between the 20th and the 22nd of March. This is very much part of that road to Torun. Robbie Muller is going to be going in the 3,000 meters later on. 22 years of age and competes for the Gotha Land Club nearby. It's a 340-man indoors over 1,500 metres, but he's opting for the longer 15 laps of the track event. Schumann, local athlete from the Erfurt club, just 18 years of age. His best of 151.31, which he set recently. He's got his work cut out to make his mark, because he'll be in the same race lining up against Mohamed Attawi. And another 3 men who've run under 148 indoors. Now, Kevin Krantz, co-holder of the German indoor record over 60 metres, 6:52. And Krantz has been in fine form already. We're going to see him in action very shortly. He ran 6:59 in Frankfurt just a few weeks ago. Silver medalist at the European Indoor Championships in 2021. Also took a bronze as part of the German 4x100 metre relay at the last European Championships 2 years ago in Rome. And of course this year we'll be looking forward to the next edition of Europe's Premier Meeting. That'll be in Birmingham in August. There's his Torben Blay. Well, he's taken a quick departure from his pole vault warm-up. By a Leverkusen man, personal best of 5:86, dating from 2021 in the pole vault. Has gone over 5:70 this year. That pole vault competition brings together a lot of very good men, several who've cleared 5:60 or better. Pole vault meeting record. I'm sure we're referring to it during the course of the next couple of hours. It's been on the books since 2001, 25 years, held by Danny Ecker at 5:85. So, Maite Kolberg. Very experienced German. German as well, indeed. 2 races in the women's 800 metres coming up a little bit later. Kolberg, fastest woman in the field with a best of 2 minutes 0.53 seconds. She actually ran on this track last year. Sina Meyer and Rebecca Hauser. Well, there's 2 heats of the women's 60 metres coming up fairly shortly. Sina Meyer. Took a bronze medal as part of the German 4x100 metre team at the World Championships last summer. Not super quick over the 60 metres, 7:30 to her name. She's got a 11:18 personal best in the 100. And Rebecca Hauser, well, Rebecca Hauser seems to have been around for decades. She's now 33 years of age, still sprinting extremely well. She jumped sprinted 7:20 this year. Sure where Karl Bevendorf is. himself, though, is running in the 800 metres. Mohamed Atawi gets the nod. As Mohamed Atawi disappeared, he's gone off warming up. Well, that's a mystery that will be resolved a little bit later on. The men's 800 metres coming up at 21:10 Central European Time. Central European Time, of course, 1 hour ahead of GMT, which is the local time in Great Britain, Ireland, Portugal, Spain's Canary Islands. That's how to mark your cards. So now the presentation of the pole vault. Podium has rejoined them. In there we've got Jan Kiersek. Just saw there Hendrik Hoffmann from the Dortmund club. There's the young Jan Kiersek, third at the World Under-20 Championships 2 years ago in Lima, and has equalled his personal best of 3:20 very recently in Prague. Fabio Busch from the Potsdam club. Potsdam up in the north of Germany. Konstantin Rusch, another of the very large contingent from the Olympia Dortmund club. I'll give you lots more details of these vaulters once the competition gets underway. And then Torben Blay, who you've already seen as part of the parade of stars just a few minutes ago. Blay has been to the last two Olympic Games. Didn't get out of qualifying on either occasion. He was a World University Games silver medalist back in 2019. So now we very quickly move along after the presentation of the pole vault to the first track event of the night, and it is the men's 60 metres. So first man up, number 21 on his bid was Eddie Rederman. This is Enoch Adegoke, former African under-20 champion, now based in Germany. Number 13, Almaz Demez, 660 personal best, part of the German team that got a bronze at the last European Championships in the 4x100 metres. Well, he's not stepping forward, he's not acknowledging the crowd, but the man with number 11 on his vest is Heiko Guzman, 21 years of age and a winner here last year. Is Hiroki Kaito from Japan, just 20 years of age. 666 man recently, Kaito. Then on the outside, two men who will have to work hard to make the final later on. Till Younger, 719 man, and on the outside, Thilo Wolf, just 19 years of age, 741, wearing 279 on his vest. So the men to look out for are in that lanes 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just one automatic qualifier. 6 go through as fastest non-automatic qualifiers. Meeting record 6:52. 3 men have run that time. Oh, Kaito having a good start. So too Demise as well. Guzman run out of it at this stage. .668 for Kaito, not very far from his personal best. Just a couple of hundredths outside of it. Good start from Kaito. High fives. As an 18-year-old, he finished 4th in the Asian Championships over 100 meters. Kaito gets a blistering start. Good start as well by Denise. Well, having a few problems with the replay. Ghosting, I think, is the technical term. Acknowledge that Denise just edged out Kaito. So 667 to Denise. Not far short of his best of 667 for the man from the very famous TV Wattenscheid club. There's the lineup for the second heat. The man to look out for, of course, Kevin Krantz. He's run 6:59 already this year. That's a World Indoor Championships qualifying standard. Krantz, surprisingly, was only 3rd here last year. Part of the specialist sprint team Wetzlar club. 6:52 makes him the co-holder of the German 60 meters best, which coincidentally is the meeting record. That was set in 2000 by both Freddie Maiolo of Cuba and Greg Sandler of the USA, and equalled 3 years later in 2003 by Great Britain's Jason Gardner. German lead this year. Owen Anser and in Karlsruhe on Sunday, 6:55. So, Ivo Siebold wearing the number 22 on his chest, 6:77 man. Maurice Graal alongside him from Cologne, 6:74. Number 18, Benedikt Thomas Volstein, a 6:71 man. Volstein from Chemnitz. Now, number 6 on his vest. They're very powerful. He's a really quick starter. Kevin Krantz, European Indoor Championships silver medalist in 2021. Ola Aloye, 660 man, competes for the SCC Berlin club, the Nigerian. Marvin Schulte, another very good German. On the outside, Jan-Erik Frey. So Krantz, very much the favourite for this race. But keep an eye on the men outside him. Olaye and Schulte. Well, Krantz, as always, gets a very good start. So too Olaye on his outside. But it's Krantz. Well, I think he was just pipped on the line by the Nigerian. One lane to his left. So does our local director. It looked as though it was Krantz for about 57 metres of that race. But by the time Olaye got his legs working and cranking through the gears, managed just to pit Krantz on the line. 665, slightly faster than the first heat. You see Krantz at this stage has his nose in front, but about 4 strides before the end, Olaye just gets ahead of him. Are settling down very quickly. We'll just bring you the results of that second heat. But unofficially, I have it as Fola Olaye winning in 665. Confirm that Almaz Denis's time has been corrected to 666, and Kaito Kuroki 667. Those are the men who were the first 2 home in the first heat. As I said, just 1 automatic qualifier. Philip Bartonek, 561 performer at best, Bartonek. It's the opening height of 501. So the women getting ready for the first of 2 heats in the women's 60 metres. Same procedure as the men's 60 metres, just 1 automatic qualifier to the final a little bit later on tonight. There will be A and B finals. the 60 meters finals get underway at 16:30. I should say 19:35 Central European time. And then 10 minutes later, the women's 60 meter finals. This is Hendrik Homan, bringing the bar down for the second time. Let's just check. I think it's the third time, in fact, at 5:01. On the outside, and then we have the Iranian record holder, Faraz Nefarshi, 720 performer in lane 2. You can see her there with the 142 on her bib. Jolina Ernst, 730 performer, and then wearing number 3, Rebecca Hauser. Well, she was third here last year. The best years behind her, but she's still sprinting very well. Best time of 7:14 came back in 2017. Viola John alongside her. She's a 7:28 performer at best. And an empty lane. We were supposed to have the Italian Gaia Bertelli there. She's not made the trip. Sina Kommerschmidt. 7:36 for Kommerschmidt. And on the outside, Annelie Dierker, 7:48 performer. Hauser, well, what more can you say about Rebecca Hauser? Even has an Olympic gold medal to her name as part of the German 4x100 meter quartet from Paris 2 years ago. So as they settle down, it's Marhofer, Fashihi, Ernst, Hauser, John, and then lane 7, Kammerschmidt, and on the outside, Dierker. Ooh, a big stumble there from Viola John, but it's Hauser battling with the Iranian on her outside. Coming up very quickly as well. Really good run from Sina Kammerschmidt there. Well, that might well be a personal best for Kammerschmidt, but I wait for the official verdict on whether it was Hauser or Fasihi who took the plaudits there. Really quick heat. 7:26 unofficially. Slightly built Iranian in lane 2. Farzaneh Fasihi out very quickly, but I think it goes to Hauser at the end. It is given to Hauser at 7:25. Kammerschmidt, that's a personal best for her by 0.05. So a good run from the 22-year-old Kammerschmidt to take second place there. Just overhauling Fasihi in the closing stages of that race. It's back to the pole vault. So we're up at 5:11. This is Ladislaw Sedlacek. brings the bar down. Sedlicek, one of 3 Czechia competitors in this competition. Only just turned 20 in December, so .540 performer at best, which he's done both indoors and out. Sedlicek. Bartonek pacing up and down. The next man on the run-up will be Fabio Wunsch. Sight of him vaulting at 5:11 before we switch over to the second heat of the women's 60 metres. Oh, nicely over for Wunsch. Back to the track, having watched Potsdam pole vaulter Fabio Wunsch should go clear. So Hannah Kaczmarek from Magdeburg, 7:36 performer, who's on the outside in the all-black attire, just 18 years of age. Lucia Popnik, Slovenian, just 20 herself, so a lot of young sprinters in this competition. Chelsea Kadiri in lane 3. Kadiri was 5th in this competition last year. She's only 20 years of age herself, 7:29 performer. Now, 1:43 from Berlin. Belina Schwarz, 19 years of age. She's qualified in the heats of the European Under-20 Championships, but has come through really well this winter and has a World Indoor Championship qualifying mark. World Indoor Championships qualifier, 7:20. Magdalena Stefanovic made the trip from Poland, 7:19 her best from 2024, last year's World University Games 100 metres silver medalist. Tina Meyer, saw her in the presentation, World Championships bronze medalist from the 4x100 metres relay, an 11:18 performer outdoors. The applauder, it's Lisa Marie Poirier, competes for the New Cologne club, 7:21 at her best. It was a couple of years ago. And on the outside, Hannah Ripple. Germans pronounce it Ripley, and so will I. Hannah Ripley. So from the inside, Kaczmarek, Popnik, Kadiri, Schwarz, Stefanovic, Meyer, Poirier and Ripley. Well, it's Stefanovic who's out of way, but now really going through the gears, coming through so strongly from about the halfway point. It was Schwarz. I didn't get the best of starts, Felina Schwartz, but really accelerated so hard from about 30 meters into that race. Stefanovic, who was probably the quickest away from the start. I'll be interested to see that replay. And that was slightly quicker than the first heat, 7:23 unofficially. Only 500ths away from Schwartz's personal best, if those times are concerned. Yeah, Sedacek coming to grief for a second time. There we see Schwartz. Sina Meyer coming through very strongly as well to take second place. So 7:21, Felina Schwartz, just 300ths away from her best. Sina Meyer, that's a personal best for her by 200ths of a second. So a good run from Sina Meyer. Gives you a fair idea who the main protagonists in the final are likely to be. Women's final coming up at 19:40 local time. Quickly switch over to the women's 1500 meters. This could be a very interesting race. Meeting record 4:9.79 held by Constanza Klosterhalfen from 2016. I think that could be under threat here. We've got 3 or 4 very good runners in this field, several of whom, like Delia Schwabas and Vera Bertemse-Hoffmann, the Swiss and Luxembourg athletes respectively, who've actually run faster in their lives. Big field though, 13 women in this field, and it's only a 4-lane track. Back to the pole vault now. Stanislav Sedlacek. This is his third attempt at 5:11. Oh, he finally gets it. He makes hard work of it. Yes, exactly. Wipes the sweat from his brow. But the 20-year-old Czech vaulter is over. Bar will go up to 5:21. Names to pick out from this large group. We'll see how the race unfolds. Delia Schwabas from Switzerland, who will be wearing 276 on her bib. She's a 4:08.67 runner at best. She had a fantastic teenage career. It's a 4:06 World Indoor Championships qualifying mark. Taking the pace, Martina Kuczynska. So looking for about 48.75 at 300 meters to set up a time of around 4:11, which is what the leaders will probably be hoping for. It's decent pacing from the pole at this stage. We've also got Adele Tracy in there, the Jamaican, 2:06. Is the Jamaican record holder outdoors, having gone sub 4, 3:58.77 her best. So this is good pace at this stage. So it's just inside 67 minutes, so setting it up 67 seconds, I should say. 66 and change. So setting it up nicely for around 4:11. Well in. Could well see some of the leading athletes through to the World Indoor Championships. Probably going to need to run around 4:8, 4:9 perhaps, but a 4:11 could get them into the field into run. So Krzyzewska doing a fine job, tucked in behind Szlabas. 2:14 is Julia Jagaszek. Pole. She ran a personal best of 4:12 in the Luxembourg meet just a few weeks ago. Still, Krzyzewska doing a fine job. 2:12.5 at 800 meters. Szlabas. She was a former double European under-18 champion back in 2016, took the 1500 meters and the 3000 meters titles in Tbilisi. Gone on to take European under-20 titles as well. 2:46.33, that's a good second inside 2:11. They're on 4:10 pace at the moment. Szlabas out in front by a couple of meters. Adele Tracy coming through, the Jamaican, wearing the mauve kit. Jagaszek up there as well, still battling away. So Szlabas leading the way. But Jagaszek now closing down on her Swiss rival. Adele Tracy just seeming to be waiting, poised. One lap to go. They're now about 100 meters from the line. It's Jagaszek, the pole, heading for home. Adele Tracy trying to get back on her shoulder. She's going to have to go the long way around. Szlabas starting to look tired, but it is those three who are away as they're coming into the home straight. This is going to be a very good time indeed. But Adele Tracy gets through, she gets round, and she just pips the Temis Hoffmann, the Luxembourg athlete. 4:11.43. And a great bit of pacing as well in the early part of the race by Martina Krzyzewska to bring them round. So the Temis Hoffmann only really showed over the last couple of 100 meters, but it was Adele Tracy who came round. Nicely clear by Robert Kompas, recently equalled the Estonian record at 5:65, still only 20 years of age. So Kompas goes nicely clear at 5:21. Confirmation. Well, I must say I thought it was Tracy who got the nod there. However, It is being given to Vera Bartemes Hoffmann. Let's see whether that's confirmed. Well, it's Bartemes Hoffmann, Luxembourg record holder indoors and out, and she's already set national records over 3,000 metres and 5,000 metres indoors this year. Who does get the nod there? It was a bit difficult to tell from the camera angle. Now, Sedlacek struggled at 5.11, brings the bar down for the second time of asking at 5.21. We've already lost Hendrik Homan and Jan Krysiek, the very good Czech vaulter. They couldn't get over 5.01. Bartonek has gone clear, Wunsch has gone clear. Very quick with the medal presentations here in Erfurt. Third place coming through strongly, Nicole Moggiuri. That's a personal best for the Italian. Takes about 2 seconds off her personal best. Adele Tracy, who I'm pretty sure she thought she'd got it, has to settle for second place. And taking the win, Vera Bartemes Hoffmann. Quite sure what's wrapped up in there. A bit of a surprise package from the Erfurt meeting organisers, as well as a commemorative mug. So just outside the meeting record, just about a second and a half outside the meeting record. A good attempt on it. So the men's 400 metres. Now this being a 4-lane track, we've got 2 heats with 3 men in each. So in lane 2, Friedrich Rumpf, 47.03 man at best. 22-year-old from Berlin. Vladislav Sedlacek, third and final attempt at 5.21. Needs this to stay in the competition. No, comes down on the bar. That's pulls the crowd. Doesn't seem to be a seat spare in this Hartwig Gauda arena. So capacity of just under 1,000. There's Torben Finke, 46.70 man, 21 years of age. And on the outside, 45.01 outdoors, Lionel Spitz, 2021, he was the European Under-23 silver medalist. He's had one outing already this year, 46.76 in nearby Leipzig. Spitz comes into this as very much the favourite. Personal best from 24 of 46.14. Swiss national record is not that far away, 45.92. Alain Rowe, but it dates from 26 years ago, 2000. So just 3 men in this 400-meter race. In lane 2, Friedrich Rumpf. 3, Torben Finke. And 4 on the outside on the banking, Lionel Spitz. Well, as athletics aficionados will know, indoor 400-meter running, first lap, just under a first lap is in your lane, and then you brake for the inside, coming into the home straight. Spitz battling his way to the front, coming from the outside, flying to the inside, and now it's going to form. Spitz got himself in front at the bell, and he's now starting to move away. And once you're in the lead, everyone else has got to come around the outside. It's really difficult to challenge. That's why the first lap is so important. Get your nose in front. Finke's had to come out wide. .46.57. Spitz still running very, very strongly as they come into the last 50 metres. But I think Finke might well have just edged it there. And if so, that's a personal best for the young 22-year-old. Well, no result just yet. That's the start list. I think Finke might have just got the verdict there, in which case he's taken over 1/10 of a second off his indoor best. So a good run from Torben Finke, and a season's best for Lionel Spitz for sure. Torben Finke went to Bergen as part of the German 4x400 meter relay team and came away with a bronze medal. That quartet coming home in 3rd place in Bergen. It's very close to his outlaw best as well, which dates back to 2024, 46.42. Well, it is being given to Spitz by thousandths of a second, but Torben Finke does get an indoor best. Takes 1300ths of a second of his best ever time, which only came at the weekend on Saturday in Leipzig at 46.70. So Finke in good form, but the verdict does go to Lionel Spitz at 46.57. Now let's wait and see whether the men in the second race can actually go better than those in the first. In the meantime, the pole vault carries on. Runners up at 5:31, I think. So, got on the inside, Christian Ugosel, 46.58 at best. Thomas Horach, just 18 years of age, the very talented Czech runner in lane 3. And on the outside, you just saw him there, getting the applause of the crowd, Fabian Dannemann, 46.71. Well, Horach 46.31. He's the national under-20 record holder for Czechia. Set that in Ostrava just 10 days ago. So it's Ugosel, Belgium, Horak, Czechia, and Damerman from Osnabrück representing the host country on the outside in lane 4. Horak away quickly, the tall, rangy Czech athlete, and he's gone through on the inside of Damerman already. 150 metres, so he's clear. It looks as though this is only a two-man field. You can see the full lineup, and we're missing Ugosel, but it's Horak who's romping away. He's very, very talented, Czech athlete. Damerman coming up on his shoulder, but Horak tied up very badly over the last 100 metres, and the verdict does go to Damerman. Damerman, 46.59, so personal best for him. Horak, after running so well in Ostrava, has got his tactics slightly wrong here. Made up very badly as the German came through on the outside. So this is Philip Bartonek. First attempt at 5:31. Nicely clear for the Czech vaulter. Five men still in this competition. Torben Blay hasn't come in yet. We're expecting to see him in at the next height of 4:30. Getting a little bit tongue-tied. 5:41. So we're on to second attempts at 5:31. Eichenberger, the Swiss vaulter. Well, the 400 metres has been going on. The officials have been doing a fine job of getting the hurdles out. So this is Felix Eichenberger, second attempt for the 24-year-old Swiss athlete. And he's nicely over. He can boast of a personal best outdoors at 5:55 from last year. Seventh in the World University Games last year, which would have been a bit of a disappointment to him. He actually cleared 5:40 in qualifying. So, vaulting quite well here. Well, we had some good heats a little bit earlier, just before the live stream started. A number of women running very close to 8 seconds. Meeting record. Oh, it's quite a very good meeting record. Kimberly Carson, the American hurdler, ran 7:84 in 2020. I doubt whether we're going to see that approached, but we could well see a few personal bests. Now, second attempt for Fabio Wunsch. Nicely over for Wunsch. Wunsch, now 24 years of age. Wunsch is a personal best of 5:45, so he's getting close to that as we see the medalists, I suppose you'd say, from the men's 400 metres. Third place, Javier Damaran. Personal best for him. Personal best as well for the man in second, Torben Vinker. 46.57, exactly the same time, but split on the photo finish. The win in the men's 400 metres goes to Switzerland in the shape of Lionel Spitz. Attention here. This is a good quality meeting for what is ostensibly a World Athletics Indoor Tour Challenger meeting. So, Leah in 60 metres hurdles final. Just saw Lena Schroeder on the inside, Johanna Busch. This is Rosina Schneider, second in her heat this afternoon, 8:10. Marlene Meyer, she was sixth at the European Indoor Championships last winter. 8:05 to win her heat. Here's the other heat winner, Francesca Schuster, competes for the famous Bayer Leverkusen club. She was 8:06, that was a season's best for Schuster. Leah Floto, Rostov athlete, had a personal best of 8:10 in her heat, finishing second behind Meyer. Amira Neva. Now, last year, Neva was the surprise silver medalist at the German National Championships outdoors. Struggled a little bit in her heat at 8:30. On the outside, Francesca Blessin. Blessin, 8:47. So this is a real step up for her, for the 21-year-old out in lane 8. So lanes to keep an eye on. Well, it's the women who finished first and second in their two heats. Lane 3, Schneider. Lane 4, Meyer. 5, Schuster. And 6, Flotov. It's an all-German final. I think the meeting record's going to be a little bit tough. Wonder whether we can see a German lead here. Currently held by Rosina Schneider at 8:02. Oh, well, not quite sure who's going to get penalised there. Was that Schuster in lane 5? Easy to spot with that bright red Bayer Leverkusen vest. So Fabio Bunch, he made hard work of getting over. By 31. We were looking at Bartonek, but there's Wunsch. So Wunsch brings the bar down at 5:41, just 4 centimetres short of his personal best, which came in 2024. Now 24 years of age, Wunsch. See Torben Blade coming in very shortly. So now the women settle down for the second time of asking. From the inside, Lena Schröder, Johanna Busch, Rosina Schneider, Marlene Mayer, Francesca Schuster, Leah Flotov, Amelia Neneva, and on the outside, Francesca Blessing. Fastest woman in this field, Marlene Mayer. 7:92, her personal best. It's difficult to tell with this head-on shot, but I think Mayer. Oh, there's tumbles. Oh, there's carnage down the track here at the Hartwig Gauder Stadium. Well, Marlene Mayer survived everything that was going on around her, particularly to her outside. Let's have a look at that again. Mayer is in lane 4 and she's out quickly. Alongside her, Francesca Schuster struggling, crashing into the hurdles. Only had 6 women finishing that race. So 7:98 for Marlene Mayer, not that far from a personal best, and I think there'll be other personal bests from the survivors. We'll wait and see the official times on that. Looks like Rosina Schneider got second place. So there we have it, 2:32, 2:31, and that's second and first. So Marlene Mayer, 7:97. Rosina Schneider, 7:96, very close to her personal best. Leah Flotov came through strongly, 8:09 for third place and her second personal best of the day. Then some distance back to Johanna Busch. So the women's 60 metres hurdles, Marlene Mayer, Rosina Schneider and Leah Flotov. So the hurdles are reset for the men's 60 metres hurdles, which will get underway in just a few minutes. In the meantime, Torben Blade, first appearance. Blade, like the woman who's just won the 60 metres hurdles, competes for the Bayer Leverkusen club. Blade, personal best of 5:86. Back in 2021. 5:70 just a week ago, so shouldn't have too many problems with this height. Hasn't been hanging around so long, but just got it wrong there. Very quickly, the women marshalled over to the podium for the medal ceremony of the women's 60 metres hurdles. Very happy, Leah Flotov. Second personal best, as I mentioned. Taking second place, though, Christina Schneider, running very well indeed. Just 300ths outside of her personal best, the 21-year-old. But on top of the podium, and again, not very far from her personal best either, Marlene Mayer. It's highly likely both Mayer and Schuster will be going to the World Indoor Championships. World Indoor Championships qualifiers, 8 or 2. Each country can send 2 representatives to those World Indoor Championships. And I think we're looking at the 2 women who will probably be wearing the German vest into run next month. Fabio Wunsch. Oh, just runs through. It's not there for Wunsch. Eichenberger, rather.
Olympiasiegerin, unter anderem im Hochsprung. Im Hochsprung, ich weiß, meine Liebe. Aber Paul, dein Vater, ist auch Hürden gelaufen. Echt, ja? Erzähl mal.
Der war richtig schlecht über die Hürden.
Paul Meyer, super Zehnkämpfer.
Super erster Tag und dann zweiter Tag fängt an mit Hürden, 14 irgendwas.
Also er kann dich nicht kritisieren, oder?
Nee, der hat gar nichts mitzureden.
Okay, wir waren bei Leah Flotov. Leo, was macht das mit dir, solche Mädels vor dir zu haben?
Ja, ist auf jeden Fall cool, aber ich bin auf jeden Fall immer auf meiner Bahn. Ich versuche natürlich...
So, second attempt, while the infield announcer is talking to the women.
Jawohl, Philipp Bartonek, 5:41 und wir bleiben bei Leah.
Clear the second attempt
Genau,
at
also ich bin auf jeden Fall auf
5:41.
meiner Bahn, aber es pusht mich natürlich, wenn die anderen Mädels auch so schnell rennen, da dann auch ranzukommen. Ja, da geht es auf jeden Fall noch weiter.
Versteht ihr euch gut untereinander?
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Also wir pushen uns eher.
Es hat wieder wahnsinnig Spaß gemacht. Ich hoffe, wir sehen uns nächstes Jahr wieder. Danke und viel Erfolg bei der Hallen-WM, bei den deutschen Meistern.
Ja, das können wir nämlich nochmal sagen, auch Hallen-WM.
So Bartonek, you just saw there, go clear at 5:41. It's gone over 5:50 so far this year. 5:55 indeed, equal personal best. That came in Prague a month ago. Robert Kompus. As I said, equalled the Estonian record, indoor record, of 5:65 very recently. Attention back to the track for the moment. Picking up some more pole vaulting, I'm sure, very shortly. This is now The men's 60 metres hurdles final. Players. He fits his status as one of the stars of the show. Wants to take his second attempt before the presentation of the 60 metres hurdlers. Bjorn Torben. Nicely done. Plenty of daylight between himself and the bar. And a very solid performance there. Hurdles. On the outside, Lugival. Sweden. Finished second in his heat in 8:07. Bruno Betts. 7:95, personal best in his heat. Bulgaria next to him, Stanislav Stankov. 7:85, second in his heat. Season's best for the 15 times Bulgarian champion. Stefan Voltsa. Voltsa won his heat in 7:79. He was fifth the European under-20s back in 2019. This is Eichenberger. Oh, it stays up. That's great performance from the Swiss Volta. I think that might be his second best competition of his life. Eichenberger, personal best of 5:55, but hasn't really had that many great indoor performances. Just completing the lineup. We missed seeing Nicolo Gicoloni of Bulgaria, Stepan Stefko of Czechia. Looks as though we're missing the man in lane 7, who should have been Joey Lukács, but on the outside, Dedresh Rajovic. 7:88 man at his best. Scraped into this final with an 8:09 performance, finishing third in his heat. So just a recap from the inside: Ahl, Betts, Stankov, Voltsa, Giacolone, Stefko, and then skipping a lane out in lane 8, Rajovic of Poland. It's looking as though it's Voltsa out very quickly. Voltsa hurdling well at the moment. Voltsa takes it. Big second goes to Stefan Stepko in lane 6, the Czechia athlete. 7:86 for Voltsa. Not a bad effort from him. Not quite as quick as his heat when he did 7:79. Passes into the first hurdle and the third. Undoubtedly knocked him off his stride just very slightly. Coming through strongly over the second half of the race to take second place. There's Stefko, the Czechia athlete. Now, Fabio Wunsch. Third final attempt at 5:41. No, wasn't there for Wunsch. 5:45 Volta at his best from 2 years ago. Not quite there on this occasion, though. up on the track. You can see a few of the men just warming up along the back straight. In the distance, we'll have the men's 1500 metres starting very shortly. Pole vault continues. Robert Compass, Estonian, surprisingly, has had 2 failures at this height.
Wir fahren fort mit der GER für die 60 Meter Hürden der Männer.
Getting the crowd behind him. A week ago in Dortmund, well, less than a week really, on Sunday. With 5:65. Really good competition. Perhaps a little tired maybe from those exploits. No, it's not there today for the Estonian, but he's 20 years of age. I have a feeling he's going to be a factor at next year's European Under-23 Championships, which will be in Bydgoszcz in Poland. Keep an eye out for that young man though, despite his difficulties today. Robert Compass is his name. So, taking 3rd place, Nicolo Giacalone. Second, Stefan Stefko. So we've got Bulgaria and Czechia occupying the, let's just say, minor positions on the podium. At the top of the podium, it's Stefan Walzer. By Leverkusen, winning both the hurdles races. Marlene Muller taking the women's event and Stefan Walzer the men's. May well take the pole vault as well. Torben Blay looking in fine form on the pole vault runner. Now the men's 1500 metres. This will be a very intriguing race. It's a big field of 13 men. Good meeting record, 3:34.51 by Robert Farken just 2 years ago. He's got a personal best close to that. The best man in the field is Marvin Heinrich. His personal best of 3:39.71 coming at this meeting 12 months ago. Heinrich, number 79. Really packed field, but it's already strung out very quickly. They're on course for about 3:38 at the moment, going through unofficially very close to 29 seconds. Really good job here. Heinrich tucks in as well. Back her best. Goes to the front. Out for tomorrow's tent. Here's Heinrich, who's tucked in behind the pacemaker at the moment, wearing that red vest. Good pace being set at the moment. Looking for sub 3:40. Got his meeting records on. World Indoor Qualifier is 3:36, but if you're running around 3:38, you might have a chance of going to Poland on the quota system, like the non-automatic qualifiers. This one there, Rick van Riel, very good Dutch athlete. Pacemaker move to one side. It's Heinrich followed by Rick van Riel. Also the Jan Heymans, the Belgian athlete, he's in third with the mode top. Heymans, a 3:41 man indoors. This is starting to turn into a really good race. Look at those two men up the outside, coming around the outside, trying to battle to get up there. As they're coming up to hear the bell. Tobias 10, all in black, has put himself into a very good position indeed, just behind Heymans. So it's Heymans being chased by Tent at the moment. Heinrich drifting back, also being run out of it. Rick van Riel at the moment. It's looking as though it's a Belgium versus Germany battle. Heymans coming through. This is going to be a very good time indeed. I think both these men are looking at personal best. Is Heymans starting to look right now? On the line. Tobias 10. First time Tent has gone under 3:40 indoors, 3:39.06 unofficially. And Heymans as well gets a personal best out of that terrific run over the last 200 metres. Rick van Riel comes through for third. Oh, it's so tight. I thought Heymans was going to take it, but in the end the verdict does go to Tobias 10. There can only be a few hundredths separating those two men. 10 came from a long way back from the bell. He was a distant fifth, around 250 metres to go. Came into the home straight for the penultimate time. 5-7, Rick van Riel. There's the man who started perhaps as the favourite and the winner last year, Marvin Heinrich, but it wasn't to be this year. So unofficially 3:39.06. Just wait for confirmation. Really good run there from Tobias 10. Timed it perfectly. Tobias 10 was 20 years of age. There's confirmation. 3:39.05, 3:39.12 for Tent and Heymans. Both personal bests. Rick van Riel a personal best as well indoors, 3:40.42. Heinrich drifting back to fourth. So this is Eichenberger. Second attempt at what would be a personal best of 5:51. No, isn't there on this attempt. One more attempt though from the Swiss vaulter. It's a sort of slightly hunched run-up. Looks so awkward, looks so strained, the run-up, but he is a good vaulter. Seventh at last year's World University Games. Got two women's 800 metres to come next on the track as the men depart. Rosina Schneider. I think that must be her Instagram account. .795 from Merlin Meyer. Well, at the moment, I think that has my verdict of the performance of the meeting. Haven't had any meeting records just yet, but they could come
Lia Flo tut ja auch noch eine
as we
809.
approach
Tolles
the
Interview
last
dazu.
90 minutes of this
Jetzt geht's Richtung
meeting.
Deutsche Meisterschaften, aber Blick schon weiter auf die WM.
Ja, genau. Also wir haben jetzt zwei Mädels, Marlene und mich, die WM-Norm jetzt auch fix gelaufen sind. Müssen wir schon die Männer angucken?
Ja, B-Lauf, 16
Finale
Meter.
stellen wir gleich vor,
Mach du erstmal, wir sind bei dir.
Genau, also die WM ist auf jeden Fall fix in meinem Kopf. Ich würde mich sehr, sehr freuen, dort zu laufen. In 2 Wochen sind die deutschen Meisterschaften, da freue ich mich natürlich umso mehr drauf, weil die Mädels, die jetzt heute da waren, auch nochmal da sind. Ich mich nochmal mit Marlene natürlich auch betteln kann, die anderen, die vielleicht auch nochmal eine WM-Norm laufen. Und dann geht es natürlich drum, wer ist unter den Top 2 und wer fährt zur WM. Und da freue ich mich mega drauf.
Wir sind auch gespannt, wir freuen uns mit dir. Danke, dass du hier oben warst für das kurze Interview, wollen dich nicht lange aufhalten. Trotzdem, vielen Dank, Rosina, und wir wünschen dir viel Erfolg für 2 Wochen bei den Deutschen Meisterschaften in Dortmund und dann natürlich für die WM in Polen.
Dankeschön.
Gerne.
Tschüss.
Quick interview there. I think my German's a bit shaky, but I think she was saying she was looking forward to battling with Marlene Meyer when it gets to the German Indoor Championships. That's coming up in 2 weeks' time.
Der für NC Jena startet. Thilo Wolf. Das B-Finale, 60 Meter bei den Männern.
So this the B final. Just to run you down the list of the men who didn't make the A final, which will be coming up very shortly. In lane 2, Till Young, and then Eddie Rederman, Enoch Adegoke, Marvin Schulter. Bit of a surprise to see him, but he stumbled out of his blocks. Didn't make the main final. Ivo Svarbold and Thilo Wolf. Well, if Schulter can get his start right, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him post a very good time. Has a personal best of 6:62. Schulter. No, it's Nigerian Enoch Adegoke, who's out very quickly indeed. 6:72. Adegoke, well, that's very close to his personal best. Hasn't run much indoors. Was the African under-20 100 metres champion back in 2019. And at the Olympic Games ran 9:98. Hasn't been in quite that form in the last few years. Now based in Germany. Adegoke. 6:72 for the winner of the B final of the men's 100 metres unofficially. The verdict going to Enoch Adegoke. There's the 3 men who finished in the 1, 2, 3 in the men's 1500 metres. Rick Van Wiel in 3rd place. Heemans, Belgium in 2nd. Taking the plaudits, Tobias Tent. 20 years of age, Tent. Smile there. Good run from the young German, just 20 years of age, competes for the Stadtwerk München club. In fact, just looking at his stats, that's faster than he's ever run outdoors. That's an outdoor best of 3:39.15. So he's gone quicker than that. So really good evening's work here in Erfurt for Tobias 10. As I said, I think we'll see a lot more of him, certainly at European age group competitions, with next year's European Under-23 Championships for him to aim at.
Jetzt in der Vorbereitung für seinen dritten Versuch. 5,51 Meter, den werden wir mitnehmen vor dem B-Finale über 60 Meter bei den Frauen. Und jetzt alle für den Schweizer.
So, Felix Eichenberger. Third and final attempt at 5:51, which would be a personal best. Personal best indoors for Eichenberger. Doing better here than he did in Dortmund at the weekend when he crashed out, didn't clear a height. 5:41 to his name. No, not to be on this occasion, but Felix Eichenberger, well, he's third at the moment.
Zum B-Finale, 60 Meter bei den Frauen.
So now the women's 60 metres B race, and a slight change to the programme. We're expecting the men's A final to come up.
Auf Nummer 3 vom LRC Erdgas Chemnitz, die Thüringerin, die 7. bei den Europäischen Olympischen Jugendspielen 2023 war, Hanna Rattle.
So on the outside we had Hella Marhofer, Hanna Rappelet, Chelsea Kadiri. I was surprised to see her not really perform quite so well in the heats. I thought she might be somebody who'd made the final. Anna Kasmarek alongside her.
Vom SC Magdeburg, die deutsche Jugendhallenrekordhalterin auf der Strecke in der U18, Hanna Kaczmarek.
And then completing the 5-woman lineup, Amelie Dierke.
Über 4x100 Meter von Bayern 04 Leverkusen, Amelie Dierke. Das B-Finale, 60 Meter bei den Frauen.
In top form, the favourite should be Chelsea Kadiri. It's a 7:29 personal best. Really didn't look that sharp in her heat. So from the inside, this all-German race. Marhofer, Rappelet, Kadiri, Kasmarek and Dierke. B final of the women's 60 metres. And it's a good start from Kasmarek. Kasmarek being challenged in the latter part of the race from Chelsea Kadiri, who once again had a poor start. Might well have gone to Kadiri with that late surge. Kadiri left in the blocks. She's probably the poorest away of the 5 competitors. Kasmarek charging down, but Kadiri, well, it's too tight to call really between Kadiri and Kasmarek. This is the third and final attempt he leads. Volt at 5. Oh, right a neck, he must have got over. Not seen all the volts, dipping in and out of the vault. But it is his first attempt at 5:56, which would be an indoor best by a centimetre. And he wasn't that far away. Good height on that vault. Just came down on the bar. Perhaps need a few adjustments. But he did have that height there. Just took it down with his chest coming down on the bar. So 5:51. just had Bartonek over. Torben Blay missed. Will be Torben Blay who vaults next. Just those two men left in the competition. So Chelsea Kadiri does get it by literally the thickness of the vest. I saw somebody who once calculated that the thickness of the vest is probably worth about 0.003 of a second in a sprint race, and that's probably about it. Chelsea Kadiri and Hannah Kazmarek both given the same time of 7:47. So Torben Blay needed 2 attempts to get over 5:41, past 5:51. If he gets over this, he takes the lead. The impetus switches to the Bayer-Leverkusen man. No, wasn't there at all really, but nevertheless has 2 more vaults at this height, and it's a height that he regularly clears without much difficulty. So now the men's 60 meters A final.
Ja, wir warten noch mit dem Lauf und schauen zu Philipp Bartonek. 5,56 Meter wäre persönliche Distanz. Und da sind wir alle dabei.
First though, Philipp Bartonek. Second attempt at what would be an indoor best of 5:56 for the Czech athlete. He's committed. It's not a bad attempt. He was very nearly there, and he knows it. One more attempt at 5:56 for Bartonek. So we quickly switch back to the track. So after his rather modest run in his heat in lane 1, it's going to be last year's Erfurt winner, Heiko Guzman.
Auf der Bahn 2, der Vize-Europameister mit der 4x100 Meter Staffel in der U23. Der Thüringer vom NRC Erdgas Chemnitz, Benedikt Wallstein.
From Chemnitz, Thomas Wolstein.
Und hat einen richtig schönen Konkurrenten neben sich. Den deutschen
A man who we've talked a lot about at this meeting, co-holder of the German 60 meters indoor record, Kevin Kranz.
Auf der Bahn 4 im letzten Jahr ist hier Zweiter geworden. Einer der Favoriten heute vom SCC Berlin.
Fola Olaye. Good run from Olaye in his heat. Took the plaudits in his heat. Enis Almaz. 6:66 in his heat. The man who, along with Kevin Kranz, was part of the German 4x100 meters bronze medal winning team. Naito Kuroki very close to his best in his heat, the Japanese man. 6 in lane 7, Jan-Erik Flyer. On the outside, Maurice Graal. Grau hailing from Cologne.
Das Finale beim 13. Erfurt Indoor.
There's the full lineup.
Meine Männer. Jetzt.
Fastest man in the heat, Fola Alaye, 6:63. Kevin Krantz just behind him, 6:65 in that second of the two heats. Deniz Almaz winning his heat, the first heat in 6:66. And Kaito Kuroki just 100th behind his best. So that marks your card. So as they settle down from the inside, Guzman, Volstein, Krantz, Olaye, Almaz, Kuroki, Frey and Graal. Keep an eye on lane 4, Fola Aloye. Aloye had a terrible start there. Krantz running very well indeed. He's picked it up, but coming through very quickly, the Japanese runner, Kaito Kuroki. Well, the camera angle's a little bit deceptive. That was a terrific race. The lead looked as though it changed hands maybe about 3 or 4 times down that straight. Krantz was away very quickly. Good start as well by Almaz. But now watch the Japanese runner in lane 6. That is going to be a very, very close call. Kuroki, though, if it's confirmed that he's won in 6:62, has taken 400ths off his personal best. Now, Torben Blay. Bartonek, 2 failures. Blay, second man to go. There's only these 2 in it. That's a lot better. Daylight, nicely done. Torben Blay nails it at 5:56. Well, he's gone higher indoors this year. Been over 5:70 already. But he did what was needed there. Much more determined and committed. Plenty of height there. Bar will go up theoretically to 5:61, but if Czech Walter Bartonek brings it down, Blay will have won, and he can basically choose what he wants to go for. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see if he puts the bar up to 5:71, if indeed Bartonek is eliminated. Still waiting for confirmed times of that men's 60 metres final. Uh, 6:61 for Krantz. Krantz does get it from Olaye, 6:63. Kuroki, his fast finish took him home to a personal best of 6:64. A little bit difficult to tell who actually got the verdict there, but it was Krantz, Olaye and Kuroki. They're the men who will be on the podium very shortly. Now Bartonek, third and final attempt at 5:56, an indoor personal best. And he's got it, he's nailed it. Quite rightly, very pleased with that. So the bar will go up to 5:61. 2 men still in this intriguing competition.
Jetzt sind die Ergebnisse. Olaye, Kuroki, die ersten 3. Und die gehen jetzt zur Siegerehrung. Lukas, auf geht's. Und dann sehen wir sie gleich wieder.
Well, we had a terrific race in the men's A final.
Eine ganz enge Geschichte. Benedikt wieder 6,71
Wonder what the women's 60 metres A final will produce. 6:61 for Kevin Krantz, now confirmed. Not quite a season's best. Ran 6:59 in Frankfurt recently. He's running well, and he's already got a World Indoor Championships qualifier. Makes up for what was a relatively poor heat for him. Got his start nailed there. Krantz. Nice arena, this Hartvig Halle, named after the famed race walker who won Olympic gold in 1980, went on to World Championship gold in the 50-kilometre race walk in 1987, and got European titles to boot. There's the lads keeping the local audience entertained.
Die Siegerehrung wird durchgeführt von Patrick Schmidt, dem Bereichsleiter für Privatkunden der Sparkasse 2. Third place in the 664, Kaito Kuroki.
And they're just having the medal presentation for the men's 60 metres, as you can hear, as we look at the women's lineup. There he is, Kaito Kuroki. Third place. He's got to be pleased with that personal best of 6:64. Kola Ayoye, not that far away from his personal best. Competes for the Berlin club, the Nigerian. Just 300ths away from his best of 6:60. But Kevin Krantz, good start, perhaps the quickest of the starters, and manages to hold it all the way to the line despite challenges from Aloye, and in the latter part of the race on the outside, Kuroki, the Japanese runner. With the honours done for the men's 60 metres, we are back with the women's 60.
Schauen wir auf den, der im Bestleistungssprung ist. Philipp Bartonek, 5:61. Hey, hey, hey.
Well, the pole vault's also going on, hence the very slight delay in getting the women's 60 metres underway. Bartonek. And he got over an indoor best of 5:61. Should say got over an indoor best of 5:56. Now attempting to improve it to 5:61.
Ich heute fast bei ihm. Wir kommen zum Finale. 60 Meter bei den Frauen, das A-Finale.
Wasn't really there.
Auf der Bahn 1 dabei. Die
Don't have much time to rest between vaults.
Olympiateilnehmerin über 200 Meter von
So,
2021
the lineup.
von Berlin Athletics. Lisa Marie Boyer.
Lisa Marie Quaye.
Auf der 2 from Poland. Die zweite der Europameisterschaften von München.
So Magdalena Stefanovic of Poland.
400 Meter.
Personal best of 7:19. Last year's World University Games 100 metres silver medalist.
An der Staffel in der Jugend international erfolgreich mit der Nationalstaffel von der MTG Mannheim.
Sina Kammerschmidt had a really good run in her semi-final. Personal best for her in a heat of 7:31. Helena Schwarz. Schwarz 7:21, fastest woman in the two heats just over an hour ago. Alongside her, Sina Meyer came home just behind Schwarz, 7:28 in her heat. Ajneh Fasihi, Iranian record holder at 7:20. Not that far away from it with 7:32 in her heat. Selina Ernst, 21 years of age, 7:32 in her heat. And on the outside, Lucia Popnik of Slovenia. There's the full lineup. So as they go to their marks from the inside, Kwai still standing up. The last to settle into her blocks. Stefanovic of Poland, Kammerschmidt, Schwarz, Meyer, Fazihi of Iran, Ernst, and on the outside, Potnik of Slovenia. The women's 60 metres. Oh. Difficult to tell from that angle who was the culprit, if indeed there was a culprit. In the meantime, might be a chance for Bartonik to get a second attempt at 5.61 in. This would equal his lifetime best. He's cleared 5.61 outdoors. So they go back. Looks as though it was counted as a faulty start. No one's shown a red card. So just to recap on the lineup. Kwai, Stefanovic of Poland, Kammerschmidt, Schwarz, Meyer, Fazihi of Iran, Ernst, and Potnik of Slovenia. So 5 Germans in this field. Well, the Iranian Fazihi got away very quickly, but coming through very strongly, Schwarz once again. She showed her class in a heat, winning in the fastest time of 7.21, and she's gone quicker still here. Now, we've seen a few adjustments on the times. Schwarz has a personal best of 7.18. Let's wait and see whether she's managed to equal that or indeed gone a bit quicker. Usually the times have been adjusted down, but it was such a good run from Schwarz. She's still just 19 years of age. She's going to be a contender, I'm sure, at next year's European Under-23 Championships. Now, Philip Bartonek wasn't really there with his first attempt. And Torben Blay has passed, so no, it's not there at all. He's having to turn around the bolts very quickly. Torben Blay, as he's in the lead, has decided to pass this height. Well, still waiting for confirmation of the times and the positions behind Filina Schwarz. It is a personal best of 7.17. Shaves 100th off her personal best. Krasner Fazihi, 7.26. Not too far outside her Iranian record of 7.20. Now 32 years of age, the Iranian. Very much the more diminutive figure amongst that group of sprinters. Just waiting for confirmation of who got third place there. It looks as though it, well, that doesn't really help us, but nevertheless, we'll wait and see. Could have been Sina Meyer, but I wouldn't bank my house on it. Nevertheless, Filina Schwarz, what a talent, Schwarz. Bounced back from that disqualification in the heats of the European Under-20s in Tampere and is really showing a class. Turns 20 a little bit later on this year. It's Kammerschmidt. And Kammerschmidt has her second personal best in as many races. She ran 7:31 in a heat and now 7:26. So she's taken a full 1/10 of a second off her personal best in the space of 2 races here in Erfurt. 22-year-old Kammerschmidt. Well, absolutely delighted, and deservedly so. Sina Meyer, well, I thought she might have just edged 3rd, but she's going to have to settle for 4th. But it is a personal best as well for Meyer. And like Kammerschmidt, 2 personal bests in as many races. 7:28 in her heat for Meyer, 7:26 in the final, but we'll just miss out on a place in the podium. I don't think we've seen the best of Sina Meyer indoors, though. She's, after all, an 11:18 performer over 100 metres outdoors. So when we get to those German national championships, it's going to be a very intriguing women's 60 metres. But for the moment, Felina Schwarz very much looking the class act. Interesting to see whether the likes of Meyer, in particular, maybe Kammerschmidt, can raise their games and get that 7:20 World Indoor qualifying mark. They might still get through as part of the quota system, but there's a lot of very fast racers around the world this year just below that 7:20 mark over 60 metres. Now, Philipp Bartonek, 3rd and final attempt, equaling his lifetime best. No. It was a more committed vault, but he took it off going up. The height wasn't there. But it was a good performance, nevertheless, from Philipp Bartonek. And that leaves the stage clear for Torben Blay. Blay, here with his second attempt at 5:56, has already won the competition. There we see Kammerschmidt, absolutely delighted with her personal bests. 7:26 in the final, in 3rd place. Paul Kammerschmidt competes for the NTG Mannheim Club. Farzana Fasihi of Iran. Indisputably the best sprinter of the night. Felina Schwarz. And as I said, just keep an eye on her. She set a personal best of 7:17. And up against international competition that she should be facing at those World Indoor Championships. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see her go faster still.
Ja, tolles Bild und wir drücken die Daumen, vor allem für die deutschen Meisterschaften in 2 Wochen in Dortmund. Und wir kommen zu 2 A-Läufen über 800 Meter bei den Frauen.
So we have the first of 2 women's 800 meter races.
Und die bessere ist dann die ersten 3 aus beiden Läufen sind wir bei der Siegerehrung.
Best woman in this field is on the outside, Vera Parala, 2:05 performer. Over on the inside, Sevilla Volkmar, 2:07.52. Races for the Wetzlar Club. Now the next woman is guaranteed a big cheer. I'm sure she's got family and friends in the audience. Still 17 years of age. Helena Gutke. And there you can hear the decibels rising with the mention of her name. She's in lane 2. Carolina Mia-Haas, 2:05.85. On lifetime best, just a few hundredths slower than the Finn on the outside. And accompanying her in that 4th lane, Pavla Kumštatova. Kumštatova, 2:11. Haven't seen pacemakers announced. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Kumštatova is indeed the appointed pacemaker to try and bring them round, maybe get them close to 2:05, which would hopefully be a personal best for whoever manages that time. Perala Vera, now 25 years of age, and her personal best of 2:05.83 indoors in Espoo last year. So looking for laps of around 31 seconds there or thereabouts. Don't need to be a brilliant mathematician to work out that that's 2:04 pace. And a break from the inside after 150 metres. It is indeed Skumstatova. A very quick first lap, as we often see in 800 metres. 28.12. It's always the third lap that's the real crucial one. Skumstatova leading them out. Perala behind her, 59.34. So that's quick. That's on for personal best pace for the likes of Perala and Haas. So the pacemaker Skumstatova, the Czech pacemaker, stands to one side. And is a lap and a half now for these women to navigate on their own. It's good. This is inside 2:04 pace. 1:32 and change. Perala being chased by Haas at this stage. This is a good race. It's looking as though these women could end up with good personal bests out of this. So it's Haas coming around. Haas now trying to pull away, gritting her teeth. Perala looking calm and comfortable, but she's drifting backwards all the time. It's going to be Karolina Mia-Haase. Well, the pace dropped over that last lap. That was around a 34.5 second last lap. So, no, Haase isn't going to be rewarded with a personal best. Might just have come through quickly enough to improve on her personal best of 2:07.78. We'll wait and see for confirmation. So, Torben Blay. World University Games silver medalist in 2019, Blay. Personal best of 5:86 indoors in Dusseldorf back in 2021. No, wasn't there at 5:71. This would be a season's best for him. This is his first competition for over 2 weeks. 3 competitions in January, 5:60, 5:55, and then 6th in Cottbus, which was also streamed on the European Athletics digital channels when he went over 5:70. So looking for a season's best, Torben Blay. 2 more attempts, but now this is the second race over 800 metres. This is slightly classier in terms of its competitors. Fastest woman in this field. We saw her at the Invitation to the Stars presentation at the top of the meeting just over 2 hours ago. Maite Kohlberg. In lane 3. So we've got 6 runners squeezed into this 4-lane track. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. They're getting excited for this. Having a little bit of a light show. So on the inside, Vera Mattia has won European age group medals over 2 laps of the track outdoors. Personal best of 2:03.54. On her inside, Emma Moore, just 21 years of age from Ireland. Personal best indoors of 2:01.21, which she did in Dublin last month. Has had a very consistent, very good season so far. 4 races, all inside 2:02.40. Swiss athlete Michelle Grobly. 2:04.26 for Grobly. Then wearing number 2, just being presented to the crowd, Maite Kohlberg, German indoor 1500 metre champion last year. Worth mentioning, Kohlberg's personal best 2:00.53 set here in Erfurt last year. And the pacemaker, wearing 2:01, Mona Meyer, better known as a 400 metre runner, Nella Wiesel. On her outside, wearing 1:79. Kohlberg. Ran 1:58.52 outdoors at the Olympic Games in the summer of 2024. Very much the favourite to this race. Now let's see what Mona Meyer takes them through in. Speeding away at the front, the German competes for the Munich club, but here very much as a pacemaker. So Meyer gets herself to the front. Kohlberg tucked in behind her, 28.33. It's actually not quite as quick as the B race. Nevertheless, the pace is a lot more steady. Mattia just behind her, the Finn. Kohlberg looking very determined, looking to try and break 2 minutes for the first time in her career. 59.16. So it is a little bit quicker than the B race. Now the all-crucial third lap. And Kohlberg is following the pacemaker. As prescribed, Meyer steps to one side, and it's Kohlberg who's got a good 10 to 15 minute lead over the rest, including Mattia, who's at the front. And Kohlberg turning this into a time trial, 1:29.44. Now it needs 32nd last lap to go under 2 minutes. And she's doing it, she's really powering away. This is a superb run from Kohlberg. Certainly on personal best form here. She's not tying up at all. The others are disappearing into the distance. Kohlberg can see the clock in front of her. It's ticking away. She's just going to be outside of personal best, 2:01.61. Well, the world indoor qualifying mark, 2:00.90. So she hasn't got a world indoor qualifier, but it's likely that if she doesn't improve on that, she could still book a ticket to run with that time. There'll be a number of athletes who follow through on the quota system. Kohlberg, well, couldn't quite uncork a 30-second last lap to go under 2 minutes. In the end, it was about 32 seconds.
Second place goes to Philip Bartonek.
So here's the pole vault. Torben Blay I'm not sure whether he failed or retired with his last attempt at 571, but Torben Blay, courtesy of his second time clearance at 556, takes the honours there ahead of Philipp Bartonek and Felix Eichberger.
So, jetzt schauen wir an die Anzeigetafel, da stehen die ersten drei. Meinte genau hier. Also 201,60, 204,60, 205, 04. Ja, Nele Wessel fast an ihrer Bestleistung. Wir haben noch ein bisschen Zeit zu den 3000 Metern. Wir werden erst die Siegerehrung durchführen.
So now, after those two very entertaining 800 metres, even if the times weren't super quick, and the conclusion of the pole vault, we move on to the men's 1500 metres. Oh, I should say the men's 3000 metres. In fact, there's less men in this race than there were in the 1500 metres, just 10 men in this race. Meeting record has stood since 1998. It's one of the longest standing meeting records. 7:45.10 to Morocco Salah El Ghazi. Two men in this race who've gone under 8 minutes. Robin Miller, saw him a little bit earlier, top of the programme, being presented to the crowd, and also Christoph Maximilian Schrick. So we're into the last hour of the programme as we build up to what we expect to be the highlight, the men's 800 metres. Scheduled to get underway at 9:10 local time in Erfurt. So this being a 4-lane track, they've got to do a bit of juggling. We've got 6 men in the rear echelon and 4 to the fore. 15 laps of the track.
Wir kommen nun zu der Siegerehrung über die 800 Meter der Frauen. Diese wird durchgeführt von Patrick Schmidt, Bereichsleiter für Privatkunden. Den dritten Platz über die 800 Meter belegt Nele Wessel in
Mascot getting into the proceedings. As we see the presentation of the women's 800 metres. Vera Matilla taking second place. But a rather distant second behind the winner, Maite Kohlberg. Kohlberg just outside 2:01. Good run nevertheless from her. And second outside of her personal best. I do like the fact that this meeting gets the medal presentations done quickly and we get on with the races.
Ja, wir kommen zur nächsten Laufentscheidung, 3000 Meter bei den Männern. Das letzte Mal 2021, da hat Martin Kraut gewonnen mit 7:59 und die Jungs wollen auch.
No hanging about, and we're back to the men's 3000 metres.
Und wir lassen die einfach mal loslaufen. Unterwegs werde ich mich zu einigen äußern. 15 Runden und ihr dürft sie natürlich mit Beifall begleiten.
Muller, focus of attention is going to be on him. He's got bib 247. You can see him there, almost second from the left in the front echelon.
Ja, mit dabei Robin Müller, der dreifache deutsche 23-Meister von der Energie und das
The world lead is that fantastic performance in Boston by the very talented 20-year-old Australian Cameron Myers, 7:27.57. Not sure we're actually going to see anything close to that. Best German performance this year came last Sunday in Karlsruhe, 7:40.39 to Florian Brehm. So, Kefilo Kifle, 8:05 man, he's 21 years of age to the front. Robin Muller, who a lot of attention's on, just tucked in there in the middle of that field, fourth at the moment. Christoph Maximilian Schreck in the red vest, second behind Kifle at this stage. So we'll bring you a time check after 5 laps of the track, see how we're doing. Looking for something inside 2:40 at the 1K point. That'll bring us inside 8 minutes. So still Kifle doing all the work at the front, being followed by Schrick, Königsteiner LV clubman. Kurt Lauer up there as well. Lauer ostensibly has a personal best of 8:50.39. He's running very well indeed for a man who's got a personal best of just inside 9 minutes at the moment. Coming round to the 1 kilometre mark. Let's see how they're doing at this stage. They're going to be right on 8 minutes, maybe even a fraction inside. 2:39.39. So just inside 8 minute pace. And it's still Kifle in front, running very well at the moment. Lauer in third place. Personal best outdoors of 7:58.30, so he's having a really good run at the moment. Schrick in second place at the moment. It's kicking off nicely, some really good running here from Kifle. He's really determined. Still Kifle, followed by Schreck, Lauer, and then Robin Muller.
Robin Müller, Jens Mergenthaler, Felix Ludger. Und komm, wir heizen ihn noch ein bisschen ein. Der letzte, der die 1000 Meter Lauf vor genau 5 Jahren, Martin.
I have to say, I'm not sure whether Kifle is actually a pacemaker in here. He's cracking on, just doing a really good job at the front. No designated pacemaker on my start list. It's now slimmed down to 6 men. So We're just coming up now, just about 100 metres shy of the 2-kilometre checkpoint. Kifley, 5:19.36, so still inside 8-minute pace. Kifley, it's only a 3:44 man outdoors. Has run 3:56 for 3,000 metres last year. 13:42 man over 5,000 metres. Just 21 years of age. Now it's Shrek taking over. There's Kifley. Well, I'd like to have seen him continue. He was doing a really good job, but it's now Shrek. I'm not sure that Kifley was actually pacemaker. Transpires that he was. He was doing such a good job. I think he should have just carried on. So, Christoph Maximilian Schrick, 22 years of age, the man from the Königsteiner Club. As things stand at the moment, on his way to a personal best, but he's got to keep up this momentum. Robin Muller now getting very detached from Schrick up front. He's got good credentials. He's a 3:40 man outdoors. Did that last year. Personal best outdoors for 3,000 metres. Schrick, who's at the front at the moment. We're looking at the man in second, really. But Schrick is just running away from Robin Muller. Schrick flying at the moment. Coming up to possibly even lap one of the athletes. We just heard the bell there. And it's looking as though Christoph Maximilian Schrick is going to get a big personal best here. Schrick running away from it. He's been to a few events like the European Under-20s and the World Under-20s. Never made it out of his heats, but he's making a statement here. Christoph Maximilian Schrick coming through. 7:59.26. Well, that's an absolute personal best. He's never run faster than that, indoors or out. So a great run there from Christoph Schrick. Robin Muller, a lot of attention on the young man who came through for second. Local athlete, but couldn't do anything about staying with Schrick from just over 2 kilometres into the race. Over the last 4 laps, it was all about Christoph Maximilian Schrick. He comes through a great result for the 22-year-old German. He was always on for a sub 8-minute time. It was hard work for Christoph Maximilian Schrick on his own for the last 3 or 4 laps. There we see the men just getting their breath back. I think the director's looking at the wrong man in the red vest, actually. It's another chap in a red vest. That's Karl Gabarek. You should be looking at Christoph Maximilian Schrick. Schrick's the one in the middle by the mascot with the black shorts. Just waiting for confirmation of the results there. I think Robin Muller just outside 8 minutes. Good run from Muller, but not quite a personal best. I have to say, we're focusing on the first two men home. I'm not quite sure who's going to be completing the podium. Give you confirmation that shortly. So coming up immediately afterwards, all attention on the track. Holbach was the only field event competition tonight. That's been concluded. And we have two women's 400-meter races coming up.
Auf jeden Fall so ein ganz großer Teamgeist. Ich habe vor 8 Jahren lang eine 1:1
Maite Kohlberg chatting away with our infield announcer.
Man fühlt sich so geborgen und das ist so eine zweite Familie, würde ich sagen. Und das zeigt sich auch dann irgendwie so im Training und im Wettkampf und das hat auf jeden Fall einen ganz großen Wert für mich.
Wie kommst du damit zurecht? Ihr seid ja oft unterwegs, dass du so selten zu Hause bist.
Ja, wie gesagt, also
German really isn't up to scratch as far as translating is concerned.
Und da muss natürlich dann auch alles stimmen. Vom Menschlichen, aber auch natürlich vom Training und vom Umfeld. Und ich würde sagen, das zeigt auch seine Früchte und ich bin sehr happy.
Wir wollen über dieses Jahr noch ein bisschen reden, nicht über die EM. Da soll es vielleicht eine Steigerung geben zum letzten Mal, oder?
Ja, also jeder hat auf jeden Fall große Ziele, würde ich sagen.
Die Hallen-WM, ist das ein Thema?
Getting a little bit of interference on the mics.
Die ist ja, glaube ich, irgendwie Ende März.
Promise you, it's not at my end.
Dass so eine ganz lange Hallensaison für mich irgendwie ganz schön kräftezehrend sein kann. Und dementsprechend würde ich sehr gerne den Fokus auf den Sommer legen und bei der EM dann gut performen. Und dann
drücke ich dir die Daumen für die Deutsche Meisterschaft in 2 Wochen und dann für die Europameisterschaft in Birmingham. Alles Gute und danke. Maite Kohlberg!
Ja, da haben wir das Interview von Maite Kohlberg gehört. Oma wird sich gefreut haben, die sollten wir ja grüßen. Also, Maite, das war dein Interview. Aber wir haben hier gerade noch einen Gast jetzt dazu gekriegt. Nele Wesel. Nele, erstmal herzlich willkommen hier im Stream und Glückwunsch zur letzten Woche. Was sagst du dazu, überraschend gekommen?
Ja, hi erstmal, Dankeschön. Ich bin natürlich super happy mit dem Start in die Hallensaison. Ja, nicht ganz so zufrieden mit der 800 jetzt. Es ist vielleicht doch ein Ticken schneller am Anfang für mich. Ich brauche eher ein gleichmäßigeres Rennen, aber ja. Aber die 1005 Zeit ist ja nun mal wirklich sehr, sehr stark gewesen. Wir kennen uns sehr, sehr lange. Wir haben mal zusammen Hürden geübt. Ja. Und jetzt ist es eine 1005 geworden. Wahnsinn. Wie ist diese Entwicklung zu sehen? Ja, also ich meine, die Hürden sind dann doch jetzt schon 10 Jahre her. Also es ist nicht gestern gewesen. Und ich war jetzt zwischendurch auch auf der 800 unterwegs. Aber ich merke einfach, dass die Ausdauergene von meinen Eltern dann doch irgendwie ein bisschen überwiegen. Und mittlerweile bin ich auf der 1,5 gelandet und sehr happy. Mama, sehr erfolgreiche Marathonläuferin gewesen, können wir gleich mal dazu sagen. Ja. Jetzt bist du hier.
Look at the men's 3000 meter winners briefly.
Definitiv. Ich meine, ich habe 2018 hier das Erfurt Indoor schon gewonnen. Die 800 damals noch in 2 Minuten 10, das kann man gar nicht vergleichen. Aber ich komme sehr gerne immer her. Die Stimmung ist top, das Publikum ist top. Also ich laufe sehr gerne, die Bahn ist schnell. Ja.
Immer herzlich willkommen. Luis,
läuft man dann auch ein bisschen befreiter hier heute über die 800, wenn man denn die Hallen-WM noch letzte Woche schon abgehakt hat?
Ja, definitiv. Also ich bin mit weniger Druck rangegangen als letzte Woche, muss ich sagen. Und der Wettkampf diente eher so ein bisschen als, wie haben wir ihn genannt, ambitionierter Spaßwettkampf. Also ich wollte natürlich schnell laufen. Ich bin nicht ganz so happy jetzt mit dem Rennen heute, aber es gehört auch dazu. Ja, aber 800 ist auch cool.
Ja, Nele, und ich glaube, wenn man irgendwo Spaß haben kann, dann hier in Erfurt,
definitiv.
Oder?
Nele, vielen Dank, dass du hier mit warst. Kurz vor uns. Danke und wir wünschen dir viel Erfolg.
Sehr gerne,
our
danke schön.
local commentators in the Hartwig Gaudo Halle. 2:05.04 finish. Third in that the A final. So now, the women's 400 meters on the inside from Czechia. As they come out, seeing the red vest there, Anna-Kathrin Hoven. Bayer Leverkusen brought a big contingent here. Hoven will be in lane 3 on her inside. Just got a brief glance of her earlier. Katerina Smelarova for Czechia. And on the outside, perhaps the favourite, Corina Schwab. There's been a bit of a change around then. They've moved Smelirova to the outside. And it looks as though they've drafted in Jenny Gunter getting an outing. It was supposed to be Corinna Schwab, the World Under 20 4x100 meters gold medalist from 2018, but instead from the inside we have Jenny Gunter and Katrin Hoven, and on the outside Katarina Smilerova. Smilerova, best of 53.63 on the outside. Hoven a bit quicker at 53.27. Gunter hasn't broken 55 seconds yet for 2 laps of the indoor track, so perhaps going to be struggling to stay with the 2 women in front of her. Confirmation there has been indeed a change around. It is Jenny Gunter on the inside lane. They can't get rid of Nelly Vessel. She's still there.
Entscheiden wir mal, ob ich lieber noch mal ins Training gehe oder ob ich den mitnehme. Und dann ist natürlich der Fokus dann Ende März auch auf die Hallen-WM. Ich meine, die ist ja schon sehr spät und ich glaube, es wäre jetzt auch nicht so schlecht, noch mal ein bisschen zu trainieren davor, weil danach geht es dann eigentlich auch direkt weiter und so viel Zeit ist auch gar nicht mehr bis draußen.
Du hast es schon angeschaut draußen. Das sind die Ziele.
Ja, die EM in Birmingham auf jeden Fall.
Sehr cool.
So.
Ja, aber jetzt schauen wir erstmal auf den Start.
Wie ein Profi macht sie das hier, oder Luis?
Here we have the women's 400 meters B race. Just a reminder once again, on the inside it's Jenny Gunter, Anna-Katharina Hoven in lane 3, and on the outside in lane 4, Katarina Smilarova. You're probably familiar with now, they break for the inside, coming into the home straight after 150 meters. And it's Hoven who's gone straight into the lead. She's ran a blistering first 100 meters to go past her Czech rival on the outside. Hoven's going to have daylight to spare over the Czech runner as they hit the halfway point in 24.86. This is very quick indeed. Hoven. This is a really good run from Hoven. Smilarova, 3-4 meters in arrears, not drifting back. She's still battling away, but it's going to be Hoven all the way to the line. Hoven keeping a form, striding away. Good run from Hoven. That's an indoor personal best by 21 hundredths. The Bayer Leverkusen athlete very pleased indeed. That might well see her onto the podium. They're going to combine the results of these 2 races. So Anna-Katharina Hoven, now 24 years of age, made the semi-finals of last year's World University Games. Was a good heptathlon as a teenager before focusing on the 400 meters. Personal best of 53.27 before tonight came in Leverkusen 13 days ago, and she's already improved on that. 2 indoor personal bests in 2 races. Can't ask for more than that. Closing down on her outdoor best of 52.51 with her indoor running. So wait and see whether Hoven's time stands up. Unofficially 53.06, but as we've seen, they've occasionally been adjusted. By a couple of hundredths, perhaps. As the women in the A race come out. Here in lane 2 at Kenondra Davis, American. Another American in lane 3, Paris Peoples. On the outside, Skadi Shear. Leading German in this 400 metres. So across the 2 races. On the inside, Karolina Zabashnik of Slovenia. So Anna-Katharine Hoven has set the mark to be aimed at 53.06. On the inside, Zabashnik of Slovenia, just 20 years of age, best of 54.14. There's Kenondra Davis, the American. 54.41. In lane 3, perhaps the favourite, Paris Peoples. It was a best of 52.06 indoors, around 50.60 outdoors back in 2023. So a classy runner. Started a season well with a 52.61 in Karlsruhe on Sunday. And on the outside, Skadi Shear. Shear, 52.93 in Dortmund back in 2023. That's a little while ago. Hasn't been in quite that form since, the 25-year-old. Shear's the best outdoors, a 51.82. So it was a very quick first lap from Hoven, 24.86. Certainly have probably not looked too bad coming up for the in the women's 200 metres coming up very shortly. So from the inside, Zabashnik of Slovenia, Davis USA, Peoples second American in this A final, and Shear racing for the Berlin club, the lone German in this A final of the women's 400 metres. Well, Davis away quickly as well, closing down on Peoples. Kenondra Davis is absolutely flying at this stage. So they're coming into the home straight. Well, she has got across quickly. So it's Shears, Davis, Peoples. At the back, it's the Slovenian Zabashnik. But Shear running extremely well at this stage. She's fighting away. She's got the inside lane. The 2 Americans are closing on her. But I think there's too much left to do. And just as I say that, Davis comes through and pips her. 52.22 for Davis. Well, Davis, better known as a 200-meter runner. Maybe this is an indication of things to come. That's a big personal best for over 400 meters for Kenondra Davis. That was a really good finish as well from the American. 22 years of age, the American. She can boast of a 22:45 outdoors. Over 200 meters, 52:21. Good run from Davis. Has never been to a major event, but that 52:21 is very close to a world indoor championship qualifier. Of course, she has to go back at the end of this month to race against a lot of very good Americans as well to perhaps have a fighting chance of making the flight to Turin. Scotty Shear, I think the way she was celebrating, 52:27, big personal best for her. People's 52:57 knocks the B race winner Anna-Katrin Hoven off the podium. So an entertaining race. It looked as though for all the world and for 350 meters as though that was going to be Scotty Shear, the Berlin runner, taking the plaudits. It was Davis who got past her right on the line with that last gasp effort over the final 15 meters. It's been an entertaining evening of athletics coming to you from Erfurt, in the centre of Germany. Also got on the European Athletics live stream this weekend. We've got the British Indoor Championships with a whole host of well-known names, including the Olympic 800-metre champion, Keely Hodgkinson. She'll only be running in the heats over 800 metres. She's advertised that she's just going to run one race in Birmingham. Also got reigning world indoor champion Jeremiah Azu running in Birmingham as well. So you can watch the UK Indoor Championships on the European Athletics live stream. Gosh, that didn't take us long to get to the medal presentations. There's Scotty Shear, having reduced her personal best to 52:27 indoors. Excellent run from Shear. But a lifetime best over 400 metres, indoors or out, for Kenondra Davis. 52:21. 2 seconds faster than she's ever run, as I said. Better known as a 200-metre runner, but I'm wondering whether this presages a move up to 400 metres. Peoples having to settle for third. Season's best at 52:57, but I think perhaps when she looks at that race, I think she probably realised that she perhaps should have run the first lap a little bit harder to stay in contention with the two women in front of her. Women's 200 metres are out. It's no longer a championship event because it was deemed that the athletes drawn on the inside lane would be unfairly disadvantaged. Nevertheless, still a very popular event. Meeting record of 22:71. Another of those long-standing marks goes back to 1998. Melanie Paschke. So have got 4 women squeezed into this race. We were supposed to be having 2 finals, but in fact, we've managed to shoehorn everybody into 1 race. It's the conclusion of that very interesting and very enthralling women's 400 metres. Canondra Davis just pipping Scaddy Shear on the line, coming through very strongly. Looks as though she's done lots of speed endurance work over the winter to be able to maintain her speed at the end. As I say, Davis, better known as a 200 metre runner with a personal best of 22:45, which is not hanging around at all. Certainly, if she does decide to move up to 400 metres, it goes without saying after that performance, she has a future at this event. See the women, just 1 race, hence the slight delay from the schedule. Should have had 2 races, but not quite sure the reasons why. We've lost a few of the athletes who were originally scheduled to be on the start line of these 200 metres. So, getting ready to get underway with this one and only women's 200 metre race. Angelina Chumak, Ukrainian athlete, competes for the Waterside Club. A lot of Ukrainian athletes left after the Russian invasion in 2022, found themselves based in Germany and indeed across Europe under the tragic circumstances befalling their country. Outside, Alicia Zwergel, 23:24 runner at best, competes for the Eintracht Frankfurt club. Angelina Ernst, saw her in the 60 metre final a little bit earlier, 23:92, quickest woman in this final. And on the outside, Katrin Fem, 27 years of age now. Fem competes for the Hamburg club. Has a best of 24:76. So on paper, Ernst and Zwergel very closely matched in terms of their personal bests. Zwergel in lane 2, personal best of 23:94. Ernst in lane 3, 200ths quicker on lifetime bests indoors. So from the inside, Chumsak of Poland, then Zwergel, Ernst and Fem, 3 Germans in lanes 2, 3 and 4. And it did Ernst, who's flying away at the moment. She's making up some of the ground on Fem on her outside. Zwergel getting left behind here to the first 100, but she's picking up the pace now. It's a bit difficult to tell thanks to that spectator, but it is Fem who comes through, recovered quickly around the bend, I would imagine. And it is Katrin Fem who comes through to win unofficially in 24:05. Well, Ernst closed her down over the first 100 metres. But Fem must have run a very good second 100 metres, especially around the top bend, and pulled away from Ernst over the course of that last 50 metres. Sometimes you can't help it. Spectators getting excited, getting in the way of the cameraman. So we did lose that second bend. But it did look as though, from the way things unfolded over the final 50 metres, it was a very good bend indeed for Catherine Firm. Athletes. Just losing Andalina Chumak. The other three being guided towards the medal podium, I would imagine. Nip across the track. Get up on the podium. Virgil. It was indeed. And track Frankfurt athletes who came through for third place. In case you're wondering, first prizes are checks for €400. Then €400 to the good after that one lap of the track in the Gauder Halle here in Erfurt. 2 800-meter races still to come here at this Erfurt indoor meeting. Third place does go to Alicia Zwergel, Eintracht Frankfurt. Jalina Ernst. Good run from Ernst. Not too far away from her personal best indoors. Catherine Fem, big improvement on her personal best. Catherine Fem doing very well indeed. Fem. Part of quartet that won the European under-20 4x100 metres back in 2017. Fem was a bronze medalist over 200 metres that year, almost a decade ago. Took a long time out of the sport, mixture of injuries, disinterest, but came back last year. And her improvement has moved forward ever since. I have to say it was a personal best, but I'm looking up on a athletics database I've got access to. Indeed, a personal best does stretch back to 2017 when she ran 23:73 when she won the German indoor under 20 200-meter title. So stats on screen were a little bit misleading. Personal best back in 2018. Outdoors was a very good 23:15. So good win for Catherine Fem on her return to top-class competition. So now it's the men's B race, the penultimate race of this 13th edition of the Erfurt Indoor Meeting, although it has been around since the mid-90s. So we've got 6 men squeezed into 4 lanes. Class Act is the man in lane 3. Malik scooping Alpha. Personal best of 1:45.95 indoors, which he did recently in Dortmund. His best outdoors 1:45.13. He's very unlucky not to make the final of the European Under-23s when he just missed out in a very loaded heat in Bergen. Important time to keep an eye on. World Indoor Qualifiers 1:45.90 over 4 laps of the track indoors. Which is just checking a couple of lanes where there's 2 men in them. So, Elia Vermeulen. Vermeulen, just 19 years of age, won the Belgian Stars of the European Under-20 Championships. Then squeezed into lane 2, Tobias Gronstadt of Norway and Robin Oster of Switzerland. 1:47, 1:48 men, respectively. Malik scooping Alpha on the outside as we switch across. Outdoors. He's in great form at the moment. Then on the outside, 2 1:48 men. Aberdeen Mujinovic wearing the number 68. And on the very outside, Louis Buschbeck, 20 years of age. The German with the purple vest wearing number 41. Vermeulen on the inside, a man to watch. Got the European Under-20 1500 meters bronze medal. So 1:46 is 26.5 laps. 800 meter races usually start quick at the opener. Come round, now they break. I'm not quite sure why the Bosnians keep looking at his watch. 25:39, terrific start. He is the pacemaker, but we don't really need one. However, it is scooping Alpha, who's following him very closely. Brzezinovic looking over his shoulder. 51.39. This is 1:46 pace at the moment, maybe even a bit quicker. Scooping Alpha 15 metres ahead of the rest of the men in this field. Now, Brzezinovic, well, he's staying with him. Is he going to carry on? No, he's just pulling up. And it's just left for Scooping Alpha to follow through on his own. 1:18.64 at the bell. This is quick indeed. This is turning into a time trial for the man from Offenburg. He's flying away. The rest haven't really got anything to answer, not even the likes of Vermeulen. Behind him it's Grondstadt. But Scooping Alpha, well, he's trying his hardest to try and get that World Indoor Qualifier. 1:46.21. Just tied up over that last lap. But he kept it going for so long. He was looking good right the way through to the bell. Here we see him. The rest couldn't respond. It turned into a time trial for Scooping Alpha, 21-year-old from Offenburg. He was rewarded with a time that was little more than 3/10 outside of his personal best. So a good job there from Aberdeen. Brzezinovic wasn't sure again about whether he was in there for the pacemaking or was going to run his own race. Like Gifle Selassie in the 3,000 metres, he could have stayed in. He could have really probably had a go at getting his personal best. But that's what he's paid for, to get Scooping Alpha round. Get him to 600 metres in something around 1:19, and he did his job admirably. So 1:46.21 unofficially, a Scooping Alpha. That's a really good mark. I could well see him get a place on the podium, but we have an absolutely loaded final race of the night in the A final of the men's 800 metres. The man we're all looking at is Mohamed Atawi. 1 week after breaking the European 1,000 metres record, Atawi's coming here and he's going to make an attempt on the Spanish 800 metres record, which stands at 1:44.65 to Elvin Joshua Canales, which he ran in Luxembourg just a few weeks ago. A race that you'll have seen on the European Athletics YouTube channel. So the 7 men contesting this very last race of the night out on the track. In addition to Atawi, we've got very good Frenchman, Corentin Leclésio in there as well. And Federica Riva. It's a surprise to see Riva dropping down to 800 metres. He has run 1:44.80 outdoors. The Italian will be one of 2 men in lane 3 alongside Leclésio. 7th over 1,500 metres. Another World Championships in Tokyo last summer. But, in there obviously to try and get a really good quick race over 800 metres. So, number 73 on the inside, Karl Bebendorf, and number 47, and the Rick Schumann. Bebendorf comes from Dresden, far away. Schumann, blonde hair, competes for the local race Erfurt club. I'm sure there'll be a big cheer that goes up for Andor Schumann. And indeed there is. We've got a big cheer at the top of the programme, and he gets another one here. Then we get the international competitors. Luke McCann of Ireland. 151.43 for McCann, but he is a really good 1500 metre runner as well. Of course, it's a great year for Irish 800 metre running, with Mark English reducing his Irish indoor record once again. Then two very good men in lane 3. 72 is Corentin Leclésio of France. 74, Federico Riva, the Italian. Leclésio, second in the 2023 World University Games. Made the European Indoor Championship semi-finals in Apeldoorn last March. He's got two very good Frenchmen in front of him in the rankings for the World Indoor Championships. Then on the outside, Jakub Chmielarz of Poland. Chmielarz will probably be doing the pacemaking. He's a 146 man, and here's where all the attention is focused upon. Mohamed Attawi has a number 1 on his bib. Wonder if this is going to be a night when he finishes in first place with perhaps the meeting record. He stands at 1:45.39. Number 1 might indicate the performance of the night. Still waiting for the first meeting record of the night. It certainly could go here in this particular race. Attawi, silver medalist at the European Championships in Rome back in the summer of 2024. 5th at the Olympic Games last year, 5th at the World Championships last year, and the gun goes. Keep an eye on the clock, looking for 26-second laps. It was a quick first lap in the B race at 25.39. It looks like the pole is making the pace for Attawi, but the rest are chasing hard as well. This is not going to be a time trial like the B final. The pole does come across. Attawi's following him. 25.55, the first lap is very quick. And it's still the pole in front, making the pace for Attawi. He's got to keep this going. Needs to go through 400 metres in something close to 51.5 seconds. Chmielarz, the Polish pacemaker, doing a good job. 51.08, it is quick. Attawi's following him, but the rest are not that far away. So the pacemaker's moving over to one side, he's leaving it to Attawi. It's Leclésio behind him, and then Riva. And Leclésio is not letting Attawi go. Attawi is fighting away, flying 1:17.96 at the bell. Well, someone 45 is on at the moment, but Leclésio also running well behind him, but he's about 10 metres adrift at the moment. Attawi carrying on the form from Madrid a week ago. He's really battling. He's got that Spanish record in his sights. He's starting to tire very slightly. Riva coming through, overtaking Leclésio for second, but Attawi, again, a bit tired on the last lap. 1:45.76. No meeting record, no Spanish record, but a fine run to finish the night from Mohamed Attawi. Once again, the closing stage of that race, Attawi made his intentions known. Earlier in the week when he was speaking to the Spanish media, he said he wants that Spanish record in his hands that belongs to Canales after that run in Luxembourg last month. Now still waiting for confirmation of the men who finished behind. That was a real tight finish to that race, but no doubt at all about the winner, Mohamed Attawi of Spain. brings the curtain down on an excellent 3 1/4 hours of athletics coming to you from Erfurt. 1:45.76 for Atawi, which means that maybe, just maybe, we're just waiting for confirmation. Malik's group in Alphas, the winner of the B race, has got himself on the podium. Well, Riva got past Leclésio, 1:46.61, 1:46.55. Indeed, there will be a German in the silver medal position, I think. I hope they're actually going to let him climb up on the podium. He did actually run quicker than everybody in that race, apart from Mohamed Atawi. But Mohamed Atawi, 1:45.76. I think he'd be a bit disappointed with that. He was aiming for something much closer to 1:45. He's run 1:44.98 already this year. Leclésio as well, I think, would be a bit disappointed to not break 1:46. Leclésio has a World Indoor Qualifier, which means he's going to be battling at the French Indoor Championships with Jordan Talas and Louis Aurat, who finished in front of him in Metz, also running under the World Indoor Championship qualifier. So that'll be an intriguing French Indoor Championships. Just have a few words with Malik Scoop in Alpha, the winner of the B race.
Drücken wir die Daumen natürlich für die deutschen Meisterschaften in 2 Wochen. Kampf gegen Alexander Stepanov. Freust du dich drauf? Okay, danke Malik Skupinator und jetzt ab zur Siegerehrung. Hier sitzen wir schon, die Jungs. Congratulations.
Wir kommen zur letzten Siegerehrung des Tages, die 800 Meter der Männer, durchgeführt von Marco Enkel.
So the lights go down for the very last medal ceremony of the evening, the men's 800 meters. Well, we are combining the results, and Federica Riva takes 3rd place when you put the results of the A and B finals together. Malik Scoop and Alpha, 1:46.21 to win the B final, gets up into 2nd place. Taking the plaudits in that men's 800 meters, Mohamed Atawi. Well, he came here looking to break perhaps 1:45. Didn't quite get there, but nevertheless, showed what a class act he really is. Just wondering whether he's just a little bit tired, even though it was a week away from that European 1,000 meters record. Well, as we see the 3 men on the podium for the men's 800 meters, that brings to a conclusion this year's Erfurt International Indoor Meeting. It's time for me, Phil Minchell, to say goodnight. We hope you've enjoyed the European Athletics live stream from this meeting. The audience are leaving, and I think it's time for us to leave. We'll leave you in the hands of the local commentators. And please do keep on joining us, though, for European Athletics live streams. We've got the UK Indoor Championships coming up on the European Athletics digital channels this weekend. Further down the line, we've got a number of indoor meetings still to come. And, of course, looking outdoors, the very first outdoors European Athletics live stream will be the European Cup throwing, coming to you from Nicosia in Cyprus, the 14th and 15th of March. Later on in the year, the European Athletics Under-18 Championships from Rieti, Italy in July. And then, of course, the highlight of the summer from a continental perspective, the European Athletics Championships from Birmingham in England in August. Once again, yes, it is time to say goodbye.